What is up, guys? Chester here, and once again we're going to play TwoFolds. I'm so excited to play this game every single time I record, so let's get into it. The chill of a winter has been creeping in recently, so I was starting to think it was about time I stopped taking my bike to school. I mean, whenever you ride your bike to school during the winter, you're going to feel the chill of the air, so of course you're going to get cold. As I was mentally preparing myself for this, we were suddenly hit with winter in full. The snow lining the streets has made my decision for me. Oh, I see. Alright. So, of course, you cannot use your bike to school because the snow is going to stop your bike from traveling. My apartment complex may not be glamorous, but the transit stop within walking distance almost makes up for the poor heating and paper thin walls this time of year. Last semester, I had classes first thing in the morning, making the trolley feel like a sardine can, filled to the brim with people commuting to work. Thankfully, my schedule starts a bit after the morning rush this time, so most of the busybodies should have come and gone by now. As the trolley slows to a stop, something catches my eye, or rather, someone waving frantically, standing up before it's safe to do so to make sure I see her.
Ollie!
Oh my goodness, that's Caprice. Caprice's shout attracts some attention, but everyone quickly returns to their phones and their morning naps. My heart pounds in my chest, the attention immediately sparkling a feel of self-consciousness. Still, it's unmatched when compared to seeing her excitedly pat the seat next to her, preemptively scooting over. I make my way over to her as she continues her morning greetings.
Hey! You're riding the trolley too? I haven't seen you here before.
Hey Caprice, how you doing?
I just started today.
Oh, we're gonna be riding buddies then.
Only on the winter though. I take my seat next to her. The dreary, cold landscape fades away as the trolley picks up the speed again.
Should I expect more pop quizzes?
I'll think about it. Do you want to hate the commute?
Not really, if I'm going to ride with you.
I'm leaning towards enjoying it instead, but I'll keep my options open. I take it you and Millie don't carpool anymore?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a very not nice thing to say because mentioning Millie on Caprice is not a good tactic though.
That bad, huh? Sorry.
At least we can carpool together now.
I don't think this counts.
Yes, this doesn't count because you should be riding with Millie, not me, because you're best buddies.
It definitely does. Hey, do you want to see something I made recently?
Sure? I huff a laugh as Caprice animatedly interrupts me, then waves her phone around, like she's showing off already.
Yeah, sure.
What? She stares me down.
Yes?
What's wrong? Do I have something on my face?
Closer.
Can I please see?
Well, if you insist.
I can't help laughing, and a lingering cold from the weather now warmed by the atmosphere of our shared space. Caprice scoots closer, unlocking her phone and scrolling through her gallery for a minute before landing on what looks like a movie poster. The colors are bright and bold, more than making up for the poor camera quality. While I can't make out of the text, the overall effect is striking.
Wow. You really made that?
Oh, she made a movie poster. Interesting. I wanna see. And of course, they're not going to present it because why not? Her grin is proud but a little sheepish.
There was this contest at the aquarium. My mom told me about it. I didn't win, but I came pretty close.
You did your best, Caprice.
Can't imagine who won. This would have been my top pick for sure.
I might be biased though.
Oh, come on. I'm not that good.
Hey Caprice, I'm just cheering you up.
I mean it. Even if I'm the bottom rung of the art club, you don't need to be a chef to know good food or whatever.
Back at the beginning of the year, seeing her so enthusiastic about art that mostly amounted to posters and text didn't make sense to me. Now, when I think about everything that goes into graphic design choices, it makes perfect sense. Caprice has always focused on making sure that what she felt was seen and heard, and her designs leave little for guessing. Caprice pulls her phone away, idly swiping at the screen. A bit of color rises to her face.
thanks.
Seems like you could make a decent living doing design and stuff if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a part-time work like doing graphic art. She starts scrolling through other photos idly as she processes my response, her eyes shifting back and forth a couple times before she answers.
Maybe when I'm a little better, I could use it for some income. But it's just a hobby.
I mean, a hobby can be your income. Like, it is a talent though, or more likely a skill.
I love drawing and designing, but I don't know if I want to make it my job, you know?
Ah, I see. I know where you're getting at.
You're that dead set on marine biology, huh?
She turns off her phone now, looking out in the distance with brighter eyes.
It's been my dream for a long time. I basically grew up at the aquarium. I really want to work with otters and sea lions and everything in between.
After catching my eyes for a second, her smile softens and she continues, looking away from me again in the process.
Like I told you, in some ways, they helped raise me. I'd like to return the favor somehow, I guess.
Wow. The trolley isn't exactly warm and everyone in here is wearing at least a little blush on their face. Even still, it's easy to spot Capri's intensifying just a bit.
Sorry, I know that sounds weird.
No, it's okay.
Nah, it makes perfect sense to me.
It does.
If it were up to me, I'd never leave the diner. It's nice work and I practically grew up in those booths.
I mean, I could basically become a chef.
But what are you studying for then?
Oh, that is true. I haven't heard about my course yet.
I don't have a major if that's what you're asking. I'm just stumbling around to find something to support my mom, really. She deserves some rest more than anyone.
Oh, I see.
Before this mess of a semester, I was dabbling in business, but
Blech.
yeah. Blech.
Caprice doesn't say anything yet, again taking more time to mull it over. A small smile lingers on as she nods, looking up to the sky. She really has her path figured out. Maybe she's so passionate about everything she does because she knows what her passions are. We sit in silence like this as the city passes by outside the window. I don't mind it. Before, I might have just been happy for some peace from Capri's energy. This is different.
Has it always been just you two?
Yep. She has pulled me out of my trance, not with one of her typical shouts, but with a simple, quiet question.
Mostly, yeah.
I close my eyes a bit, thinking it over. Even when she was married to my dad, it really was just us.
What does she think about it?
About us roughing it out?
No, I mean, what does she think about your goal?
Ooh, that is what I do not know because normally, parents should support in our goal. My goal? I've never really thought about my future prospect in such optimistic terms. Calling what I'm doing now a dream or a path towards some definite endpoint doesn't feel right.
Not sure. Mostly because I don't know what exactly it even is myself.
Oh, well, you still have time to think about that, right?
Yep. She doesn't press any more than that. I rack my brain searching for a better response.
Want to hear a story?
Sure.
Please.
She smirks. The change in subject comes as nothing short of a total relief. Got a little too close having an identity crisis there.
So the other day, in my science class, the professor comes in and hands out a quiz, right?
Right.
And it's covered in subjects we didn't talk about at all.
Well, that's typical for a teacher. Like, surprise, something new you've never heard of. Try to figure it out yourselves.
Uh-huh.
I read ahead in the book a little, so I recognize it, but there's no way anyone else did that. No one's saying anything, though.
I mean, it's your objective to be initiative in most of the cases though, but I'm not.
Huh. Maybe they didn't consider it worth the hassle. That's how I'd think.
Same.
But then they'd all just fail. If you don't correct mistakes, they just cause more problems.
Well, that's the teacher's problem, not us.
Maybe nobody studied and were afraid of being caught.
Well, I studied, And I know Allison did. I turned to her and she had this confused look too. Obviously something is wrong here. Someone had to say something.
Did you try to raise your hand?
And here enters the hero of our story.
Exactly.
So, you stood up in the middle of a quiz?
Do you know how long it took for me to convince the professor I really had something serious to say?
Out of curiosity, how often are you shouting out in class?
Not that often. Not during quizzes. What kind of person do you think I am?
I do share one class with you.
You're making fun of me.
No, I'm not. She laughs as she lightly smacks my shoulder.
All I'm saying is the professor knew you pretty well.
Yeah, well, we students have to speak up for ourselves. College is a dialogue.
Basically.
Where'd you hear that one?
You think I can't come up with it myself? So anyway, listen. I stand up, megaphone in hand.
Megaphone in hand?
He wasn't listening, and I had it under my desk for a rally later. Anyway, let me finish the story. I turn it on.
Every story she has to share tangents into another, with no natural end. My initial impressions of her was right on the money. She definitely doesn't have any sort of filter. As she starts sneaking more smiles and chuckles out of me, I begin to think that's maybe not a bad thing. So focus on Capri's chatting away. I don't even realize when we finally stop at our destination until the driver makes a last call honk.
We better get off. Come on.
She hops out of her seat and dashes out before I even have time to think. I grab my bag and follow her as quickly as I'm able. When I step off in front of the campus gates, a slight wind catches me off guard and I can't help but shiver through my heavy coat. Caprice barely seems to notice.
Will you be riding this way from now on?
Well, it's winter, so probably.
At least until the weather warms up.
Yeah, let's go.
Ooh, we really will be riding buddies then.
I guess.
I'll be looking forward to it.
Are you going to wait on the cable though? Her smile really is bright this morning, and I can't help but feel just a little bit warmer looking at it.
Sure. Me too.
Man, I have changed, huh? A few days later. The sun hangs outside the art club windows as the day draws to a close. Caprice has been a lot more hands-on since her unneeded apology, but today's another one of those days where she's preoccupied, leaving Eileen in charge of closing up the club room. With Wallace gone and Allison over at the campus ceramics kiln, only Eileen and I occupy the space, shifting between her own work and taking over mine. She has been more forthcoming with help as of late.
No, look. Caprice had the same problem. Picture a light bulb floating around your subject. The shadows would be way harsher than this here.
Oh my goodness, she's going to teach me something artistic, huh? I'm not going to understand this along the way. She takes my notebooks and starts doodling a few spears with her pencil, each with various intensities of shadows and light positions.
If you want to go strong with your shadows, that's fine, but you need to at least understand how these things interact with each other.
Man, I really need to become an artist just to understand what they're talking about, huh?
Right. Sorry.
Don't apologize for something like this. It's a learning process.
Thanks. Eileen's ability to transition in and out of teacher mode so effortlessly while keeping her colorful personality in check is honestly impressive. Satisfied that I've probably gotten the gist, she returns to her canvas and resumes her painting. I don't want to bother her again so soon, but there was something she said that caught my ear.
Hey.
What is it now?
Wow, I'm so rude. Like I was like, hey, instead of calling her name, Eileen.
You said Caprice has the same issues with this kind of stuff. You mean that thing you and her were working on a couple weeks ago, right?
She brushes away at her work. What a multitasker.
Has she talked to you about it at all?
Nope.
Well, no.
Then it's none of your business.
The words are cold, but the tone isn't. I swear she gets harder to read every time we talk.
She's working through her own issues, same as you. Give her the same respect and personal space as you think you deserve.
That's an awfully nice gesture, given it's Eileen talking about Caprice.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Sorry, Eileen.
You apologize about nothing more than Allison does.
I thought that one felt necessary, at least.
It's natural to be curious about her, especially given your circumstances.
Huh?
Huh? She glances over at me, the corner of her mouth pulling upwards in a small, barely noticeable smirk. I feel my face grown warm, though I'm not sure why.
Her being your tutor and all.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Alright. What are you on about, Eileen?
What's your take on her, anyway? If it's okay to ask.
This question causes her to stop her painting entirely, mulling over a response for considerably longer than the initial inquiry.
I used to not be able to stand her genuinely. I don't think we could be further opposites.
Well, that's normal. So far, so obvious.
Sometimes it still feels that way, and I just want to throw my hands in the air and walk out mid-conversation. She's exhausting.
Well, just get used to it though.
I'm surprised you haven't yet.
Yeah, well, I'm a notoriously bad judge of character. Just ask Allison.
Why, Allison? Why can you not be straight with me and say it?
Up until meeting you at your work, I had you pegged as a lazy bum trying to get others to dig you out of a hole you rightfully fell into.
I don't think that's entirely unfair.
Then you'd be wrong.
Hearing that from her admittedly feels nicer than I'd expect. I sort of want to ask her to elaborate, but I decide it's better not to press my luck and just be thankful for what I've been given.
Anyway, my point is, I'm trying to get better at being patient with people. Allison does more than her fair share keeping me grounded.
Wow, you're a short-tempered person. It's hard not to appreciate Eileen's sincerity, especially with how distant she feels a lot of the time. She returns her eyes once more to her easel.
If you talk about this conversation with anyone, I'm telling Caprice you were sticking your nose into her personal business.
Don't worry, Eileen. I'll keep my mouth shut. And then the Eileen I recognize returns. Unlike before, however, I respond to her with a smile. Man, Eileen is such a mysterious person, and I like it. Like she knows what's happening.
Cross-hatching, right?
Yep. Now what's a fugitive color?
I don't know what even is a fugitive color.
A color that changes over time when exposed to various elements.
Okay, new vocabulary learned.
Right again. Okay, so how about...
Caprice continues to flip through the textbook as we walk the halls to the art room, stopping on random pages without much concern for rhyme or reason. With each pause comes a question, and as soon as I answer one, another is already ready to take its place. Today was a quiz day. I didn't do as well as I'd hoped I would, a fact that must have been pretty obvious, with how quick Caprice was to console me after class before getting right into her impromptu study session.
And what creature has the thickest fur of all known mammals?
I should know this, but I can't remember.
I refuse to believe you're still pulling questions from that book.
This is probably a science question, not a art question anymore.
Just seeing if you were paying attention. Okay, now...
Oh yeah, she wanted to become a marine biologist. Yeah, I don't know anything about animals, only few. The last thing I'd normally want to do after underperforming in a test would be to jump immediately back into this, but something about Capri's energy makes it bearable. If it weren't for the stress surrounding the situation, you could even call it sort of fun. It takes a special sort of someone to successfully distract from a test by bombarding you with study prep. But Caprice manages to find a way. Nevertheless, one of her questions manages to drag me back to reality.
who has brown hair, blue eyes, and desperately looks like she needs a nap?
You. It takes a couple seconds for me to realize Caprice has stopped walking alongside me. After a quick swivel, I find my tutor smiling wide at her orange-clad friend, leaning casually against the wall, all but lost in the crowd of students.
Haley.
Got it in one.
She finishes her greeting with a small yawn and half-hearted wave.
You look how I feel.
I tried to smile as I retraced my last couple of steps to join the two again. It's coming a lot less naturally to me than it was a few minutes ago.
Could have fooled me with how you two were practically skipping through the hall together. Classes have been running me ragged.
Ollie passed the test today.
Yeah, let's go. I'm such a smart guy. Or a smart girl. I really don't know what gender Ollie is. Her grin is so sincere and tone is so earnest that it almost makes me forget about the actual score.
Oh, is that so? Congrats, Ollie.
Thanks, I guess. And there's the despair kicking in. I feel my face grow more red the wider Haley smirks gets.
Barely passing. It was just a 7 out of 10.
Sounds like a pass to me.
Yep, out of 10, the passing score is probably 6, but I don't know about their standards.
That's what I was telling them. As a matter of fact, I've been throwing questions at Olive ever since we got out of class, and they haven't missed a beat this entire time.
I mean, this is probably became a routine to me, so I have to get ready for it anyway. Caprice grabs my shoulder with her free hand, shaking me with a proud smile across her face. I want nothing more than to disappear while I await another one-liner from Haley, but it never comes.
Glad to hear things have been going well for you, even if you don't think they have. Almost there.
I haven't become numb to Caprice's praise and optimism. If anything, time spent with her has only shown me how sincere all of it is. Even still, hearing her thoughts echoed by someone else strengthens the warmth in my chest.
Thanks.
Thanks, Haley. I feel Caprice's grasp on my shoulder tighten for just a moment before she releases me.
You gonna survive the rest of the day, Haley?
If we weren't so close to going home, I don't know if I'd be able to answer that.
School life.
Don't fall asleep on me just yet. We've still got a meeting to get through.
Oh my goodness, Millie. How long has it been since I've seen you? The second surprise guest of this afternoon elicits a grimace out of Haley as she strolls up, though I'm not entirely positive it's because of the friendly ribbing. Caprice, in contrast, stiffens her back, her smile dampening just a touch.
Millie, hey.
Good afternoon, you two. Managing to keep your head above water, Olive?
Yeah, I guess. I already hate being singled out as it is, let alone when I'm transparently being used to deflect attention away from Caprice.
Just barely.
Yep, just barely.
That's such a relief to hear. I've been worried for you.
Why?
There's nothing to worry about. I'm gonna pull Ollie across the finish line if it's the last thing I do.
Thanks, Caprice.
I'm sure you will.
Whoa, there's something wrong in here. Something about how Millie says that feels like a jab. Even if the words themselves are completely tame, the mood in the hall shifts. Red rises to Caprice's cheeks as her hand starts to curl into fists. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're not going to fight, are we?
How am I supposed to take that exactly?
Guys?
What do you mean?
What you just said. You meant something by that, obviously.
Whoa, let's not start, guys. Can we all calm down?
I think you're reading into things a little too much.
Oh, really? Ollie, what do you think?
Why are you involving me into this? Oh no. I thought my days of being put in the middle of this were behind me, the cold sweat at the back of my neck starting to irritate. I adjust my collar as Millie turns to me directly.
It felt a little passive-aggressive.
All right, I can see that.
She turns to Caprice, closing her eyes tightly before looking at her evenly. I dare to sigh in relief when she pressures is off me, and at Millie's mature response.
I'll be direct then. You drag people around whether they like it or not. At least it's good for something.
Whoa, that is direct.
That said, Olive, if she's ever being too much, you need to tell her directly. Several times.
Are you really still mad about that? Well, sorry for committing the crime of double-checking if you didn't want to go to the dress fitting. Guess I'm just the worst.
You asked me 15 times.
'Cause we kept rescheduling for you!
What is even happening?
And you won't take a hint.
I feel a hole in my stomach as they glare into each other, their icy back and forth quickly becoming a full-on argument. I keep finding myself thinking I can help some way or another by speaking up, but every time it backfires. Haley, having sensed the coming storm, tugs at my arm as she worms her way past her friends.
I forgot something in the music room. You free to help carry some stuff?
Yes, Haley, take me away, please. I glance at Caprice, who doesn't seem to notice me. Thank you, Haley. Thank you. You're my savior. I turn back to Haley. After a wordless nod, she lets go of my arm and starts leading me down the hall, never turning back to make sure I'm following behind her.
You scared them away!
It's little wonder they left us, what with you all stanced up like that.
No, it's just the both of you.
Olive would never.
With a dull thud, the door to the music room closes. After the hustle and bustle of the crowds right outside, the silence feels especially eerie.
It's quiet.
Yep, just like I wanted it to be.
Ironic, right?
You didn't forget anything in here.
Clever. Even if I did, the actual classroom is locked up back there. I wouldn't be getting it till tomorrow anyway.
She gives a small nod towards the locked door to the outside. I was wondering why this place felt so sparse.
So, did you want to talk, or?
Nope, not really. Just thought I'd do you a favor and save you from the worst of it, since I was going to be leaving anyway.
Yes, thank you, Haley. You're really my savior. Thank you for rescuing me back there.
Oh.
I'm still feeling a little shaken at watching those two start it off, but Haley seems totally nonplussed about the issue as she picks up a wall to lean on, closing her eyes to focus on her music.
One of them will come around to pick us up for the clubs once they get it out of their system. Make yourself comfortable.
Thanks, Haley. Despite her invitation, I just stand awkwardly in the middle of the room, not quite sure what to do with myself. I debate making my way back to the pair, but leaving Haley here feels inappropriate. Instead, I figure I can at least try to spark up a conversation. Surely it can't blow up in my face again so quickly. Besides, if she doesn't want to talk, she just won't respond. Or that's what I just tell myself to justify this as I open my mouth to speak.
Are they like this at home too?
Her shrug is immediate, so at least I'm not being totally disregarded. Even still, it takes a few moments for her to find the words to respond properly.
It comes and goes. It'll build up to a small shouting match, and then they'll be mostly okay with each other the day after.
That doesn't sound healthy.
I know. They know too, probably.
Then why keep going through the cycle?
The muffled music from her headphones fades as she finds a way to answer my question. It's not long after that she pulls them from her ears entirely, placing them around her neck once again with a small sigh.
Because they don't really have any other choice, their situation being what it is.
Haley's tones is deadpan at the best of times, but it's hard not to notice the tinge of sadness to her now.
You look how I feel.
Really? It took her making a joke out of it for me to notice my own frown. It's one I've worn several times before, about this same exact subject. Originally, it was because their argument made things messy and complicated when all I wanted was some help. Now, though...
Are you going to tell me what it is?
If Caprice hasn't told you, you know I can't. Girl code.
Yep, I still won't know what's wrong with them.
You just have to believe me when I say they can't really change what's going on. Even if they could, it'd only make things worse.
From an outside perspective, it just sounds like you've given up on things getting better.
It's not like I haven't tried. I wouldn't be sharing a room with Heather 2 days a week by choice if I didn't think it'd help Millie out.
Oh, Heather! I remember her. She's that mean lady though. Haley sneers as Heather's name slips her lips, adding emphasis to her already crystal clear point. Man, they hate Heather, huh? I really want to know more about her though. My head hurts a bit from all the secrecy, but one thing is pretty clear. They're still living together. They're still trying, so...
If they're both willing to try to reconcile most days, they'll be able to figure it out eventually, right? Vague and cryptic situations or not.
Yep, most of the problems of friends can be figured out eventually, either by parting or reconciling. It's only after getting a look at the faint hint of surprise on Haley's face that I pause and stop myself, not realizing how far I pushed myself out of my comfort zone until I was already well outside its boundaries.
That almost sounded optimistic. Where do you pick that habit up?
I know the answer to that question, but I can't find myself to say her name aloud. All I can do is avert my eyes and scratch my cheek. Haley seems to take that as sufficient response as a coat-like grin spreads on her face. I'm not sure if that makes things better or worse.
Don't know.
Well, it suits you.
Worse. Definitely worse. Wow. Haley's prediction is true. Like someone is going to come up here and going to start the club meeting. Well, Caprice it is. Hey Caprice, are you going to take me to the club room now? Before we can stew in this awkwardness for too long, the door opens behind us. In its frame stands Caprice, looking like a deer caught in the headlights as Haley and I turn to her.
You two are still here. Good. Olive, you ready to head over to the club?
I guess, but the sound of your voice feels like you really want to skip club and go home for the date and take a rest because you feel like bummed out. There's little energy in her voice as she gets the words out. I find myself wishing she called me Oli.
Sure. Is everything okay?
Obviously, it's not okay.
Huh? Oh, yeah. We worked it all out. Just a bad misunderstanding in the end. No need to worry about us. We gotta focus on you.
Okay, sure. I'm not going to ask what happened back there. As soon as she called out, she quickly throws her mask back on, her tone springing back to life and a smile spreading across her face. She has given me this expression so many times before, and it always feels sincere. But not this time. I join her by the door, turning to look at Haley once I'm at Capri's side.
You gonna be good?
Yeah, I'll start heading over to the writing room in a sec. You two go on ahead.
Alright, Haley. Good luck out there,
Okay.
I guess.
Have fun over there. Tell Millie I said hi.
You said hi to her not even 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I think she appreciates it more when it comes from you.
Her smile doesn't waver. Her tone definitely does. One look at Haley's face tells me we're on the same page.
Alright. See you.
See ya, Haley. And with that, Caprice ushers me out the door and closes it behind us, leaving Haley alone in the room. Yikes. This is something that I really don't want to do, like trying to intervene a friend's problem. Like, they can figure it out by themselves anyway. Caprice has written on the whiteboard, "Big final project."
Listen, this is make or break. Your big moment.
I guess because this is where my GPA lies. The energy she's putting on display now, it's hard not to see it as at least partially forced, given the circumstances. Maybe I'm just overthinking it though, since the others haven't seemed to notice, or if they have, they haven't said anything about it. The rest of the club is gathered around for the discussion. I have the same feeling I get from mock meetings in my intro to business
We're
classes.
going to make sure Olive makes the best piece they can make and ace the class.
Man, they're really focusing on me. This is so embarrassing.
I don't think we should make the big moment just about me.
In truth, I'm not even sure if it's necessary at this point. I've done everything I can do to pad my grade before the final. To varying degrees of success, all that's really left is to put pen to paper. Seeing Caprice so enthusiastic about this is enough reason for me to let this play out. Even if she's forcing it a little, seeing her back in her element comes as a relief.
Every moment is a big moment. Next question.
Allison raises her hand. A strange concept in this club.
Well, I was thinking. I'm not sure what you've covered in art class, but since Olive has been mostly learning with pencil, I think doing something with graphite or charcoal would be best.
Ooh, Allie's already taking initiative with ideas. I like to hear it.
She writes pencil in a bullet point on the board, grinning as she underlines it a few times. Why?
Sticking with what you know is probably your best bet, yeah. That still leaves the matter of what you're actually going to be drawing.
Probably I'm going to draw another cactus.
We'll figure it out together.
I can help bounce some ideas around, sure.
So let's discuss this. Olive, what is it you want to do?
Just draw my plant, I guess.
I don't actually know.
I've known for a while, at least the broad strokes. It's not something I really want to talk about though.
You've had all semester to think of something.
The regret I'm feeling over not trying to de-escalate this meeting at the start continues to grow by the second.
I'm aware.
It's okay. Why don't you take some time to think about it? We don't have to decide on anything today.
Caprice sighs with a flourish, then adds the second bullet point. Subject to be decided.
Fine. But let's discuss the other topic. Historical influences.
No, not history. Man, I really hate history in this game. I'm glad we're off that line of questioning. Even it's this new one fills me with a different kind of dread.
I barely know anything about that stuff. You saw how I did on my quiz.
Yes, I hate history.
You're back on that again? You did fine. You passed. That means you know some things.
Some things, but not everything. Because I still don't know what the teacher is going to give anyway.
How did you do on your quiz?
You want to see my score, Eileen? I can show you.
70%.
Yeah, a passing score.
Which is a C. Better than passing.
There are some things you can't just force optimism about.
Okay. Wallace, take out your laptop.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't call me that.
Whether unable to come up with a retort quick enough or just content to leave the conversation there, Wallace quietly nods and begins to do as he was asked.
We're going to cram as much of this stuff into your skull as we can today. Apply it to your project later.
No, please, no history. Despite her choice of words, her actual tone is more like a high school teacher's. I'm honestly not sure how much of the stuff we talk about today will help my final, though I did pick up bits and pieces that I'd like to look into. More than anything, the company is what I appreciated the most. It's been a long semester, but these four have made it go by a lot faster. I still feel like an outsider a lot of the time, and their personalities definitely seem to clash into a lot of ways. But I can't say it hasn't been fun. This will be the last meeting before I turn in my final, and I will feel like I've let them down if I don't pull through after the help they have given me. Only one path forward, now. After what feels like a long hour of circular discussion, people start packing their things and saying their goodbyes for the day, leaving Caprice and I alone together. As in the norm, she only begins packing her things away once the rest of the club is out the door. But this time she stops herself after shoving a few stray pieces of paper away.
Ollie?
Yes, Caprice?
What's up?
Are you working tonight by any chance?
Well, I have to help my mom though. I thought I couldn't feel any more nervous than I am about my final, but Caprice once again makes the impossible possible.
No, I have the night free. Why?
The building's open all evening for night classes, so we can leave whenever. Do you want to study or go over your final a bit more, maybe?
I find myself at crossroads. Honestly speaking, after the last few hours, I don't know if I'm mentally capable of enduring any more academics for the day. On the other hand, well, I could think of worse ways to spend my evening. I'm not sure if there's an obvious tell on my face or if my pause lasted just a moment too long. But when I turn my focus back to Caprice, she looks unusually panicked.
Never mind. I know you're busy and it's been a long day. Of course you don't want to be quizzed anymore today. You should go home and...
Caprice probably wants to tell me something, so I'm going to stay. No, Caprice, I'm not going to work. I'm not going anywhere. I'm sticking with you. Okay, it was just the pause. Good. Great.
No, I was just thinking about how nervous I was about things still and how some extra studying would be good. I'll take up your offer, assuming it's still open.
It's open.
Needing no further affirmation, she joins me in sitting at the edge of the table. She reaches behind her to grab my textbook, poring over its content.
I appreciate you doing this.
Her eyes, once wide as they could be as she furiously skimmed through the pages, closed slightly.
I haven't been doing enough. I'm just trying to make up for lost time is all.
I remember her apologizing for this before. Is it still bugging her that much? Maybe she has picked up some bad habits from me. All I can do is sigh.
You've helped a lot.
I promised you more than a lot.
She reaches across me and grabs a piece of paper and a pencil, jotting down questions as she continues to protest my assurances.
I'm sorry for being so negative about the class all the time. I know I've been doing fine. It's just easier to see the glass as half empty, I guess.
I know. That's why I'm so confident in you, and why I feel so bad.
I want her to elaborate so badly, but whatever reason, I just can't bring myself to ask her outright. Thankfully, she seems to get the picture as she pulls her eyes up away from the text to face me.
You shouldn't have to feel so stressed out about this. I just feel like if I did more... I don't know, if I didn't push you on to the rest of the club as often as I did, you wouldn't be so worried.
No, it's so cool, Caprice. Pass is pass.
Maybe you'd have done better on the quiz, and maybe not. But I wanted you to feel prepared going into this with me, and I didn't follow through.
That's not...
But the fact that you feel like your back is against the corner, that you feel hopeless, as awful as that is, the fact that you're still doing everything you can to rise above it is amazing. When it feels like there's nowhere for you to go, it's so easy to feel like giving up and letting whatever happens happen. I can speak from experience there, a lot more than usual lately, actually.
Thanks for the wisdom, Caprice. She lightly taps the pencil on the desk as her eyes drift downwards for a moment, before darting back up.
But you never let that happen. Heck, you've technically got more time logged in the club this semester than I do. That's sort of embarrassing. You're more reliable than I am.
Well, I mean, I was trying to practice for my finals though, just to raise my GPA. She chuckles a bit as she brushes some hair out of her eyes. This feels like best time to respond, but I'm left totally speechless. Still, I'm desperate to not leave an awkward pause hanging in the air, so I grab at the first thought that comes to mind.
It was only ever like that because I didn't want to let people down. Mom, you... I don't think I'd have the willpower to go on if it was just personal motivation.
That's okay. There's no shame in relying on the people who love you, even if it's just as motivation in the back of your mind. The point is that you got here in the end.
Yep, all because of you, Caprice. She smiles her usual smile, and I'm quick to return it. Suddenly, however, Caprice shifts her eyes back to the book and the paper she'd been scribbling on, her body visibly tensing up.
I meant loved ones. Like, you know, your mom and stuff.
100% Caprice has feelings for me. Yep, Caprice is blushing. As cold as the weather has been getting lately, it pales in comparison to the feel of the shiver going down my spine.
Yeah, don't worry. I got what you meant.
Yes,
Anyway, question 1.
nice transition. 2 weeks later. Oh boy. Is this the finals? Probably, maybe not. Purple clouds shades the sky, outlined by the low flying sun. I stand waiting for the trolley, grocery bags in hand, ready to head home for a dinner with mom. Yeah, let's go, dinner with mom. I've got to work on my final tomorrow. Oh my goodness! But this is a rare night where both mom and I are free and we want to make the most of it. My ride eventually rolls into view, as do a couple of familiar faces. Oh my goodness. Yep, it's Caprice and the gang. There's my riding buddy. It's unusual to run into her at this hour though. Miss Shifton is sitting next to her, giving a small wave in the stark contrast to her daughter's wild sweeping gestures. Oh my goodness, Charlie is there too! As I approach them, Caprice pats the seat next to her with a flailing arm.
Sit down, sit down.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie!
Hello, Olive. Or is it Ollie now?
Like, man, these people starts calling me Ollie after seeing that otter.
Good evening, ma'am. Olive is fine.
Yes, please call me Olive, not Ollie. I'm not an otter.
Okay, Olive. But please, call me Charlie.
Alright.
She comes across as kind and sincere, but I don't think I'll ever really be comfortable being on a first name basis with her. A feeling I'm sure is coming true with how instinctively I avoid her gaze.
Don't bully them.
Is this bullying? I can feel myself sinking in my seat. Charlie laughs.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. Caprice talks about you all the time. I already feel like I know so much about you.
Really? She does? This is the second time that she's mentioned something like that, considering we've only met twice.
No worries. It's nice to see you again.
Likewise.
I turn to Caprice to answer the question that's becoming more and more invasive every millisecond that passes by.
You talk about me? Or?
Of course. I tell Mom everything.
Like what?
I know all about the art club's adventures. She has a new story for me every few days.
She puts a point on that sentence with a gentle smile that reminds me of my own mom's. I guess it's just a thing they're all able to do.
She's told me about your situation. I'm rooting for you too.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks.
These two must share everything with each other. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Caprice is the type to talk to anyone's heads off, and she must have gotten that from somewhere. I'm really close with my own mom, but the relationship these two have feels entirely different.
There's no way they're going to fail after how much the club has helped.
There was a time I would have protested this, but I know how much she means it. That, and I actually find myself agreeing.
Yeah, I really would have been lost without you guys.
Oh, well, you couldn't have done it without yourself either.
I couldn't have done it without you, Caprice. The words stumbled out of Caprice in a rare moment of bashfulness. Wanting out of this conversation as quickly as possible, she turns back to her mom instead.
Ollie isn't giving themselves enough credit. We wouldn't have made it this far if they weren't willing and determined. So I've heard. Several times.
Several times? Excuse me?
What did I just say about bullying them?
Charlie looks to me, raising her hand in a half-hearted wave.
I'm sorry, Olive. You weren't the intended target there.
Yeah, I know, Miss Charlie.
Excuse me?
I'm going to die.
I'm glad to hear things are working out. All I hear from Caprice these days is all of this, all of that. How's their progress going? Whether they'll pass their final. You and I are lucky to have her, huh?
I guess.
Jeez, Mom.
Caprice quickly averts her eyes from her mom and onto me, only to dart them away again when she realizes I'm looking at her. The only option left to her being to stare awkwardly at the other side of the car.
You sure are, though. Especially you, Ollie.
Having collected herself, she points at me, finger once again so needlessly close to my face. I can't bring myself to even pretend to be annoyed.
So where are you headed, Olive?
Home, probably?
Home, if I can help it.
Yes.
Us too. We were shopping.
The same goes for me. I was shopping. They have some bags around them too. And also takeout boxes, probably full of leftovers from some restaurant.
So was I. Needed to pick up some things for dinner. My mom's over at my apartment.
Oh, how nice. Pass on a greeting from me, won't you?
Sure.
And from me.
You betcha.
Got it.
We spent the rest of the ride chatting. I almost missed my stop.
See you soon. Don't forget to do your best on your final. Don't hesitate to ask me for help.
Sure.
Bye, Olive. Take care.
Take care, you two.
I will. Have a nice rest of your night, you two.
As soon as I open the door to my apartment, I'm assaulted by sounds of bubbling water and savory spices. Oh my goodness. Mom started cooking.
Hey, I thought I said not to start cooking without me.
You cooked for me last time. I'm cooking this time. Plus, it had to get started soon. This isn't a quick meal.
Like true, cooking some food really takes a lot of time, like an hour or so. So it's good to have someone to cook it first before we can do the rest.
Well, you're gonna need these.
I hold open the bag I bought, full of veggies and potatoes.
Good! It's almost time to start throwing them into the pot. Help with the peeling, won't you?
You got it. Leave it to me. I free myself from heavy jacket as quick as I am able before taking my place beside her at the cutting board, placing the bag of veggies between us.
So, how's your project coming along?
It's going great, I guess. She is quick to pull a couple carrots from the bag and begin her work. I grab as many potatoes as I can for myself, if for no other reason than to try and minimize the amount she has to deal with.
I haven't actually started yet. But I'm picking up the supplies tomorrow.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Mom. I got this. I got the finals.
That's good. Do you know what you're gonna do for it yet?
I'm going to draw my cactus.
After a lot of talk with Caprice and the club,
I look over at my plant roommates sitting on their windowsill as always. Let's go. I'm still going to draw my plant.
I've got something in mind. Maybe.
I'm really glad to hear that. Just a few months ago, you were so unsure about all this.
I'm still unsure. Just a little less than normal now.
Well, I'm sure you've got nothing to worry about. It sounds like your friends are doing everything they can for you.
They are, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I've heard that enough times from Caprice already.
And you're finally starting to believe it, right?
Maybe a little.
She nods as she drops her chopped carrots into the pot before reaching back into the bag.
Speaking of which, I saw her on the trolley with her mom. They say hello.
Ah, I'd love to meet her again someday. Her mom, too.
Oh my goodness. Like, this is something I really don't want to happen. Every time my mom and my friend's mom meet each other, they're going to say a lot of things about us, especially the embarrassing parts.
It'd be nice to make that happen. We could invite them over sometime after the semester.
It takes me a moment to realize she stopped her chopping as I finished up dicing the potatoes. I look to her, worried she may have cut herself or something, but all I find on her face is a smile.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. Are the potatoes ready?
She probably noticed that I have changed a lot.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
After moving the knives away, she lifts up the entirety of the cutting board, pushing all of the cut veggies off it into the pot before giving it a good stir.
I was just thinking about how funny the situation turned out.
I'm struggling to find the humor here.
It's always been so hard to get a smile out of you growing up. As hard as I tried, I treasured each and every one I managed to earn.
I hope she gets to the comedic part of this observation soon. I'm not sure if my heart can sink any lower.
You wear it so naturally now, though. Regardless of what happens with your finals, I really think this past semester may have been one of the best things to ever happen to you.
Thanks, Mom. She finishes her stirring, turning the heat of the stove down as she places a lid over the pot.
Personally speaking, I think the irony is very silly.
With all of the stress and anxiety surrounding it, I want to refute it so much, but in a few days, one way or another, those worries are going to be gone, or at the very least, they won't matter anymore. Where will that leave me then?
Maybe I'll appreciate the joke more later.
It'll grow on you, I'm sure.
As casually as ever, she passes by me to get the sink and turns the hot water on, washing her hands after doing the bulk of the cooking tonight.
So, tell me more about her. Caprice?
What do you want me to tell you about her, Mom? There's a lot I haven't really mentioned to her. I just never thought it was important to say. Now, I'm not even sure where to begin.
Did I ever tell you her mom works at the aquarium?
Really? What does she do?
She's one of those presenters who talk about the animals.
I tell my mom about the aquarium and Caprice's love of sea life, how she's already making plans for another visit. Even when she isn't physically present, Caprice ends up being the center of attention as I recount our time together over the past semester. From there, I tell the other tales of our little art club. She shares more stories from work and her own life. It's a warm winter evening. The next day, the finals. Let's go. Let's finish this. Last night, I went to sleep at around 3 a.m., clinging to the hope that if I never actually slept, then tomorrow somehow wouldn't arrive. Times betrayed me once again. Tomorrow is now today, and today is mostly gone. The majority of it was spent at work, the stress being the only thing keeping me from entering a vegetative state my entire shift. After that, I immediately went out and bought everything I needed. I have settled on using some higher quality colored pencils. Oh my goodness, I'm really going serious about this, huh? I've also picked up a backing board trimmed to the size specified for the assignment and an oddly specific brand of glue as per the professor's instructions. All that's left is to sit down and do it, I guess. I take a seat at my desk chair, placing the bag of various art supplies down on the floor as gently as I can, knowing they're the most important thing I own at this moment. I bought some extras of everything just in case, but that doesn't ease my worrying at all. I move my keyboard to the side, leaving ample room for my pencil set and paper. Everything's ready to go now. Just gotta start. I've had the image in my head for a long time, but now that the time is here, I'm finding it impossible to put it to a paper. Even getting the basic sketch down is proving to be too large of a mental hurdle. Is this paralysis stemming from the fear of failing? The fear of letting people around me down? Maybe just being unsure if I can do it justice. With a deep sigh, I stand up and drag myself to my nightstand, where I had left my phone on silent. I deliberately made sure it wasn't on reaching distance to avoid distractions, but maybe a distraction is what I need. She said to let her know if I needed help with it. Does this count? I'm not really sure what she could actually do for me right now, but I'm hoping just talking with someone as I work things out will help. I tap Caprice's name in my contacts and make my way back to my desk as it begins ringing.
Ollie, sup?
Hey, Caprice.
Hey, just working on my final.
Oh, me too actually. We can have a sort of long-distance club meeting.
Yeah, let's go. Calling someone close to you really makes you calm and collected. So that's why calling Caprice, hopefully not going to be the bother, is my only answer to get myself into it.
Yeah, that's more or less what I was hoping for.
So how far in have you gotten?
I haven't started anything.
The supplies are on my desk.
Ollie, you do have something in mind, right?
The disappointment in her voice is like an arrow through the heart. Man, Caprice, I just want to hear your voice.
Yeah, of course. It's just hard for me to get started for some reason.
Fine.
Fine?
She is quickly pivoted from disappointment to Fox frustration. Even after all this time, I have no idea how she manages it so effortlessly.
I've set my pen down and I'm not picking it back up till you get moving. If you don't get started, I'm gonna fail.
Oh no, please no! Pick your pen up!
It's not like I wasn't gonna do it.
My fate is in your hands.
I put her on speaker and placed the phone to the side, both my hands free to start working on my project properly. This is one of those things that you know she'd be more than willing to follow through with. I decide it's a good enough reason to at least get to the sketching stage as I take out a normal pencil and start mapping out how I want to fill out the paper.
You've successfully twisted my arm.
Good. What kind of medium are you sticking with anyway?
I decided on colored pencils. Like everyone said, I should probably stick with what I know, but I thought colors may help things. Same basic idea, right?
Yeah. So long as it's what works for you.
What about you? I know I've been avoiding this subject, but I don't think you've really been bringing your final up much either.
Oh, I'm trying digital this time. Wallace is letting me borrow one of his older tablets.
Ooh, that's interesting. I thought that was yours, but it's actually Wallace. Just like her to take the final project for a college class and use it as an excuse to try something entirely new.
Is this the thing you were asking Eileen for thoughts for a while ago? You said back then it was your final.
I know the answer, of course, but I'm curious she's willing to confirm it.
No. That was something different. Doesn't matter much.
Fair enough. I was just wondering at the time what someone like you could ever need a second opinion on.
You're making fun of me again.
Sorry, Caprice.
Maybe a little.
We sit in silence for a while, both of us chipping away at our projects. I've moved past the sketching stage, relatively happy with what I have landed on, and have started sorting through my assortment of pencil, using a piece of scratch paper to compare the colors before committing. The silence persists, small two-sentence conversations peppered about here and there, but neither of us make excuses to end the call. I can hear her tap and swoosh the pen occasionally on her tablet, and I'm sure she can hear me shuffling things about as I try and sort stuff around. Being able to quietly enjoy each other's company like this feels as bizarre as it does pleasant. Sitting here in mostly silence, content with the knowledge that there's someone on the other side of it who is eager to listen in the off chance you do have something to say. I guess nowadays it's just the idea of Caprice being there is enough of an inspiration. Not that I don't appreciate her attempts at feel-good speeches.
Done.
Huh?
I'm done with my project.
I just finished my final project, I think.
What? Send me a picture! Hurry!
No.
You're turning yours in tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, but...
We should show them to each other on campus then. Can be more of an event that way, or something.
Yeah, that is true. That's much more better. In truth, I'm still sort of embarrassed to show it off, but I'm hoping a night of sleep will be enough to calm the nerves enough.
Are you that confident it'll be okay? You sure you don't want my opinion ahead of time?
No, I can do this on my own. Like, I just wanted to hear your voice, that is.
Yeah, I think it'll work out.
Okay, tomorrow it is then. I'll wrap this up and take it to the shop for printing before they close so I can catch you on the trolley in the morning.
Don't rush yourself for something like that.
Yeah, now that it is winter though, it's going to be cold. You might catch a cold.
It'll be fine. We're riding buddies, it's important.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, see you tomorrow then. Thanks for hanging out, Ollie.
I've still got some tests to handle tomorrow, but with this project done, my shoulders feels infinitely lighter. True to her words from the start of the semester, she was here to see me through the end. I hope things turns out okay. Right now, even more than actually passing, I want nothing more than to join her again for another semester. To simply be her friend, without all of the baggage I brought with me this year. To thank her and the rest of the club properly for everything they've done. I'm not sure if it's the last thing is even possible with words alone, let alone here, over the phone. Nevertheless, I can at least leave her with something for now.
Thank you too. Good night, Caprice.
The next day.
Okay, time for the reveal. On 3. 1, 2...
When we met on the trolley, I had finally worked up the willpower to show her the fruits of my labor. She insisted we wait until we could get to the art room though, playing off my question of making it feel like more of a special thing. The ride to campus went one agonizingly slow and way too quick, both meshing awkwardly together with an impossible to describe mess of anxiety. When we arrived, she then insisted on waiting until everyone else had left to hang up our art so they could be next to each other. Now we're here, counting down the slowest 3 seconds of my life.
3!
She flips her canvas and rests it upright on the table in front of her. I'll cover my own, propping it up the same way. Oh my goodness, that's a good art! Caprice's final is very much her, a storm of different colors and ideas, all fighting for attention as they push in various directions. One part catches my eyes immediately though, a small splash of green that makes my heart jump to my throat. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but it's not subtle, right? On the subject of subtlety, oh my goodness, what is that drawing? It's not like mine is especially vague either, or at least I don't think it is. The red on Caprice's face, which undoubtedly matches my own, definitely seems to confirm that.
Wow.
My drawing is decent, I guess.
It's not as good as I wanted it to be.
Only look at it. You made this.
I guess. She takes the drawing from my hands and flips it back around for me to examine.
Remember when we started? You didn't think you could handle something even half as good as this.
Half as good? In many ways, I still don't think I can.
Look at how far you've come. Heck, look at how far we've both come.
I know, right? She probably taps her creation, clearly a lot less embarrassed by it than I am of mine.
It's not exactly a fair comparison. You were already a great artist at the start.
Yeah, you had the advantage.
Well, I'm even better now, and I'll be even better tomorrow.
She adjusts her cap slightly, tipping the brim of the hat up more to meet my eyes directly with a broad smile and sparkling eyes.
And you will too.
She gives me a thumbs up in the most earnest way. I avert eye contact, only to be met by an art on the wall once more.
I don't know. I think I need a break from all this art stuff after this.
Yeah, like I just need to make it to the finals, have that teacher check my work, and probably I'm done with the art club. I punctuate this statement with a dramatic sigh and slumping of the shoulders. I meant to make it come off as an obvious joke, but I wonder if my reaction is all that out of the ordinary.
What? Come on, you don't mean that.
I wonder.
If my intentions weren't obvious before, I can at least be confident they are now. Caprice responding with a chuckle.
We'd better get to class before we're late.
Oh, you're right.
She scrambles to grab her canvas, and we make our way to class one last time. Yeah, one last time. And we're back to the pizza parlor. Are we going to have a party again? Every single time. Like this is a tradition, huh? With everything behind us, the art club is having its last meeting of the semester at the pizza place we use for special occasions.
And after this begins our winter semester meetings.
I knew it.
Hey, I'm not taking any winter classes.
I don't think anyone is, right?
It doesn't matter. Classes or not, the club never sleeps. Today is a celebration day, though. We made it through.
Right, made it through. I checked my phone. It must be the 12th time today.
Ollie,
Mm-hmm.
The page is loading.
Ollie, stop looking at your phone.
Man, I'm really disrespectful, huh?
I'm just trying to see my grades.
My other classes I'm reasonably confident in, but the art final is my last big stressor. The professor said the grades will be posted relatively quickly. I'm not sure if expecting a turnaround in under a day is reasonable, but it doesn't stop me from checking every few seconds anyway. Stressing out? No kidding. I've been stressing out about this moment for the past few months. It's pretty much all I've been stressing out about. I mean, this is very common for any kind of student, that they want to see their grades real quick so that they can see if they fail or pass. But more likely, they really want to see that they pass.
I've been trying to check my grades too.
See? Allison is one as well. I mean, all of them though. Probably Eileen and Wallace have no problems because they're more likely the people who are very smart. Allison, like me, has been thumbing her phone all meeting. Somehow I think she has less to worry about than I do.
They probably won't go up until the evening, and that's assuming it'll even be today.
Oh my goodness, in the evening? I mean, why are we having a party right now instead of having a party after we see our grades?
Do you know what time?
That depends on the professor.
I mean, that's true because the professor is late to give their students grade. So all I have to do is just wait for a couple of days, stressing out.
How about you wait until tonight to check anyway? Have a fun day with your club and look later.
Ah yes, I'm just going to have my last supper before I can see my demise.
There's no way I can just forget about it.
Let's talk about something else for now.
Like what?
A brochure slaps down on the table. Eileen reaches out to turn it with her hand, and we all lean over to look at it. It's for the aquarium, advertising holiday light decoration. No, are we going to the aquarium again?
Oh no.
Yes, no, I don't want to go to the aquarium again. I mean, we're going to see Charlie anyways, but still, aquarium again?
Isn't it about time we went again? Look at the decorations, the theming!
No, it doesn't matter if the decoration or the theme is really nice, but still, it's still the aquarium.
Oh, pretty.
Okay, sure. I really don't get a woman's heart.
Isn't it?
It's something you've seen 100 times over already, I'm sure.
When Eileen and Wallace protest, Allison is effectively distracted from her phone for the moment, her eyes shining alongside Caprice. Planning another aquarium outing doesn't sound like the worst idea right now. Maybe I'll look over some of the pamphlets after checking the phone one more time.
Just give it some thought. There's even special pricing.
We're really going to the aquarium, huh? Caprice is busy shoving the brochure into Eileen's hand as she tries to break away from the group.
Sure. See you later.
Eileen really doesn't want to go. She starts to leave but stops when she notices Allison isn't following. The grades still haven't been posted.
We can hover around the site at home.
Okay.
Hey, best of luck.
Wallace gives me a rather strong pat on the shoulder, surprisingly not making me fold out like a napkin. I offer a weak nod in return.
You too.
Oh, I'm relaxed about this.
Yeah, it's because it's you, Wallace. I know you're a smart guy. We look over at the girls. Allison clutches Caprice's hands.
I'll text you.
Right when you get home. You definitely aced everything.
Well, take care. I gotta get to work.
See you.
See you, Wallace.
Later, Olive.
Later, Eileen.
Bye.
Bye, Allison. The three of them wave and depart in the same general direction. I send them off with a wave of my own. As for myself, I have no other obligation today, besides this waiting around to see if everyone's effort weren't in vain. I wonder if Caprice is the same.
Hey, Ollie?
Yeah?
Wanna walk around for a bit?
Sure, distract me. Distract me from my phone. Asked and answered. I glanced at the weather outside, but it's not like it will change my answer anyway.
Sure, that sounds good.
The snow's been consistent, coating the city in an even layer of perfect white, though it seems to have calmed down a bit. Still, it's cold and wet, and Caprice and I joined the rest of the people bundled up in their heavy coats. Lights and decorations have already begun to adorn the cityscape. The beauty of it all makes the cold worth it. I feel the pressing urge to bring up our final projects, both of them weighing heavy on my mind. As stressful as it was wondering if I have the future in university, it's paled in comparison to wondering if I'm overthinking this morning. Worse yet, if maybe I'm seeing something I want to see, if I'll be disappointed if she tells me it didn't mean anything.
I've been thinking of buying some new kitchen stuff.
Like what? I look up from checking my phone another time, a small distraction.
Huh? You?
Sorry, Caprice. She pouts in my direction. It's cute.
Mom's been talking about how she wants a new pan, so I've been looking around for a decent one.
Oh.
Ah, I see.
I give a nod, like everything makes sense now. Caprice pops up, putting her hands on her hips and tilting her head at me.
And if I'm ever going to learn how to cook myself, I'm going to need some stuff too, right?
So, do you need my help to buy some stuff? I laugh a little, nodding. She's so sincere, like always, that I dropped the slight teasing despite her playing along.
Right. Sorry. Well, why don't we take a look?
Yeah, let's go. Let's take the initiative. Pleased that she successfully convinced me, Caprice walks into step with me. Following my lead, we find our way to the store selling kitchenware and utensils. The 2 pens Caprice bought clank about in her shopping bag as we walk through the cool city streets again. It's not the most exciting place to visit, still we spent an exorbitantly long time admiring random kitchen gadgets and cute tableware that by the time we leave, it's nearly dark out.
Can you teach me to cook?
Probably. Maybe Olive only knows the simple dish, but Ollie works in a diner, so probably he knows a lot.
You want me to?
I think it's only fair, right? After all I did for you this semester?
Well, I'm not sure I'm qualified.
I mean, you can ask your mom to teach you. I'm not even trying to be cheeky. I've never really tutored anyone in anything.
Obviously you are. You do it for a living.
Well, yes, but
Nuh-uh. That should have ended at the yes.
A part of me wondered why Caprice never came across as pushy, as she gives me a stern look at that immediately dissolves into a grin. I am once again confident that it's because her positivity is coming from her heart. It also feels intentional. She wants the best for everyone around her, and whenever she sees a glimmer of hope in someone, she puts her everything into bringing it to the surface.
You're going to teach me to cook. The decision's final.
Okay. I guess it wouldn't hurt. I could at the very least prevent her from accidentally destroying her apartment.
fine. As thanks for all the help.
Great. Come on.
She begins to jog ahead, bag bouncing behind her in her hand.
Hey, be careful.
Yeah, it's slippery. To be honest, the thought sounds more and more interesting as I think of it. She stops and spins to look at me, somehow avoiding slipping.
I'm glad. I really liked the food you made for us a while back.
I mean, it's just plain pasta.
You did a wonderful job, you know?
When did I last hear something like that? I feel my heart flutter a bit.
So I'd love to get together and have you make something again. And maybe steal your skills for myself.
She tightly grabs my hand in between hers. They're surprisingly warm.
I thought your project was amazing too. You don't need to worry.
I worry.
Thanks.
I think I'm starting to warm a little.
I wanted to help you. And I was kidding about owing me. You joining the club was more than enough. I was happy about that.
Sure, I guess.
So, you know...
A little tune starts to play. Caprice jumps, letting go of my hand and quickly rummaging through her single pocket she has until finding her phone. She gives me a tiny apologetic look and answers it, turning away slightly. Dang it. Bad timing, huh?
Allie, hi!
Though small, I can hear her excited voice of Allison on the other side.
I did it! 4.0.
Oh my goodness. Am I going to see my grade?
Wow, that's amazing! I knew you would do great. Congrats!
Allison's GPA. Her being worried about a 4 really does show how different we are, huh? Wait, if she has hers, then... Yes, I grabbed my phone to refresh the page, still up where I left it. I had nearly forgotten. Caprice spots me looking at my phone and focuses her attention back on me. Allison still on the other line, she quickly presses the speaker button.
Ollie, is it in for you too? Is it?
A second of silence passes until the grade loads in. Oh my goodness. Hopefully, please give me a pass. And I think that's not a pass. 85. Whoa, yeah, let's go. She pushes tight against my side to peer over my shoulder at the screen. She's still holding her phone against her ear.
With an 85%!
Congrats, Olive.
Wait, why is Silent there?
You did it! You passed! They passed!
Happily, Caprice wraps her arms around me. With the phone no longer near her face, I don't know if she can hear the little sounds of Allison and Eileen happily congratulating. I feel the weight the past couple of years floats away, and in its place is only the weight of Caprice against me.
Good job, Olive!
Let's go! Just a basic drawing gets me an 85. I'll take it. A couple days later. Alright guys, so I think this is the good time to end the video. I'm going to continue this game. I don't know when, but I'm going to record it and try to post it on my channel as soon as possible. But anyways, thank you so much guys for watching the video. Chester here, and I'll see you guys next time. See you!